back to another episode of Bake It Work.
Today we're going to be doing some really quick and easy brownies that you can just decorate on the fly and be on your merry way to a holiday party. We love brownies. Also, we're going to be talking about the importance of self-love and some tips on how you can learn to love yourself as well. Here we go. All right. So, we're making brownies and then we're just going to decorate them. All right. So, here we go. Sweet dreams are made of these. Oh, mind who disagree. I'm gonna eat chocolate brownies. Cause everybody.
Wait,
you ruined my song.
Sorry, but there's chocolate chips.
Yes, and chunks. Chunks and chips. No, you can't eat that. You can't. Drop it.
Why can't I eat it?
Drop it. Cause we're not.
It's just one.
No.
It doesn't ask for any more water? Is this it?
That's it.
What about the oil?
Oh yeah, the oil.
Oh my god. It's all powder. I'm like, how does this...
There you go.
Oh my god, now it's not gonna work. Now it's not gonna work. Once again. Here we go.
I forgot about that.
Make it work. You used to make another make it work moment.
That's why we call it Bake It Work, babe.
Before we get here, you might need to mix it some more. You don't want to be weird like you or anything. Oh, yep. Look at that. Look at all that extra mixing you needed.
No.
Okay. Ah, you thought I was gonna throw it up in the
No,
you guys thought I was
no, they did not. They're smarter than that.
Boom. Start in the middle and work our way out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, pick those Poco Bangles, Ricky Ricardo. Hey, okay.
All right, into the oven at 350 degrees for 26 minutes.
26 minutes, 350 degrees.
So I think just in general, whether you suffer from any sort of mental illness or not, loving yourself is crucial to being happy, I feel. Also, it's important to be able to love yourself so you know your worth and you can set standards in certain situations of your life and know what you deserve and what you don't deserve. So going through depression and anxiety, it can be really hard to feel worthy of anything. Most of the time you feel worthless, and that's something that I've struggled with majority of my life. I've had a lot of body image issues as well growing up and being bullied and just developing quicker than other girls in middle school. And so it was really hard for me to learn to love myself. And it's something that I still have a really hard time with today, but I'm getting better at it. But I think one of the main things I learned was to be really careful as to how I talk to myself, and whether you're internally speaking to yourself or whatever, it's just making sure you're paying attention to what you're saying, because your words are really powerful. And so for me, I would notice that I would spend a lot of time in the mirror when I'm getting ready, but a lot of my commentary to myself was a lot of hatred, negative words, and that's just not healthy. And so something that I did that helped me is I limit the amount of time I can look at myself in the mirror. And I don't keep like a timer or gauge it. I just really try to avoid mirrors for the most part, and it's limited my negative talking to myself. Another thing that I learned just going through therapy was for every negative comment I say to myself, whether again it's internally or out loud, I have to rebuttal it with a positive comment. So if I'm like, oh my god, I really don't look good in this outfit, I have to follow it up with something like, well, at least I'm funny, at least I make people laugh. And by having to come up with a positive right after it, it makes you slow down your like internal voice, and it kind of calms your brain down so you can't be hitting yourself with negative comments like left and right. You know, you kind of have to take a step back and like think of something nice to say. And when I first started doing this, majority of the commentary I was having with myself was like negative, 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 negative. and having to come up with as many positives as negatives, it's really hard to think of something new to say that you like about yourself. So that's helped a lot with me as well. But I think just in general, when you're going through depression or if you have anxiety, a lot of the time you feel guilty. And that was another big thing that I struggled with that I would tell you about, was just like, you know, there's other people who are suffering far worse than I am, and I would negate my feelings and I would negate my experience and what I was going through. And I learned that it may be true that someone has it far worse than I do, but what I'm going through is still important, and it still deserves some attention, and it still deserves some TLC. And so for me, the guilt trips I put on myself and I put myself through have also calmed down, because I've been able to learn that what I'm going through is equally as important as what someone else goes through. It may not be on the same wavelength or the same playing field, but it's equally as important.
You still have to deal with it, you know?
You still have to deal with it, you still have to get through it, and you still have to be okay at the end of it, you know? But I think just in general, like, even if you don't have depression, anxiety, like, how did you learn to love yourself? You know, especially growing up, Ivan was pretty short. He didn't grow until he was like 18, so was that a problem for you?
No, I mean, I don't know, I don't know.
You never really thought about it?
Yeah, like it never crossed my mind. Like, I was self-conscious, I think everybody is, you know, but, you know, like my height never paid it. My friends used to make fun of me, but that's about it, you know. It just, like, I don't know, I wasn't the tallest, but I was really good at sports, and I was faster than most of the other guys, so I guess I didn't really...
You had an advantage.
Yeah, I had an advantage, but I guess I didn't go to the kind of, how you said it, where you make a negative comment and make it positive. I guess I kind of did it without even knowing it. Subconsciously, you know, so that's why maybe it just, like I said, I've never had to think about it. Cause yeah, I'm not the tallest, but it does make me faster, quicker.
Ivan was really into soccer competitively, and he devoted all his time and effort into that. So I feel like for him, because your mind was so preoccupied with soccer, you had a game, you had practice, you had this or that to do, you were so busy, and you know, you're striving for your goals, that you probably didn't have time to, you know, sit and contemplate things like someone with depression does. Because I feel like with depression and or anxiety, you don't want to do anything, and that's another really hard part of it. And what I go through is just like having motivation to do anything is really difficult for me, and especially when I wasn't going through an episode of depression or anxiety. Well, an episode of depression, I've always had anxiety, but it worsens with depression, if you don't know. But when I wasn't going through an episode of depression, I was really, really, really ambitious. I, you know, was always busy. I was always doing something that made me feel good about myself, and I was always going after what I wanted. But come depression, and, you know, I don't want to do anything, and that's a really hard, I guess, flip on the scale to, you know, just not feel the motivation to be able to do anything. And if I do feel that motivation, it's just hard to get off my butt and do it. And that's something that I have a really hard time with myself, just not saying like, wow, Sasha, Slater. I have a really hard time with that, with just being like, all right, you're a lazy ass, you know, when in all reality it's just, I'm going through something, you know, and I just have to give myself that little pep talk just to not think so poorly of myself, I guess, you know. If you guys deal with any issues of just feeling like you're not worthy or you just can't love yourself, I just want to try and challenge you guys with either writing a list of things you like about yourself or doing something like self-care that you wouldn't normally do. So maybe treat yourself to go get a manicure, or treat yourself to, you know, buying something, doesn't have to be expensive, but just buying something that you like, or just doing something nice for yourself. You know, go buy yourself some flowers, or just something nice for yourself, and just try to do at least one thing a week that you wouldn't typically do for yourself that you would want to do for someone that you love. And I think that ultimately will just help you start to build a habit of learning how to love yourself and putting yourself first as a priority. All right, let's get back to our brownies. It smells so good.
That smells so good.
All right, so our brownies are done. They smell delicious.
Smell.
So now they're gonna cool down. We are going to cut them, and then we will start decorating too.
What?
One for you, one for me.
Ooh, decorating.
So we got this green sparkle gel.
Sparkle gel.
Sparkle gel?
Sparkle gel.
And I'm gonna create a Christmas tree. I'm gonna go small on the top and white on the bottom. Baby. There you go. It's open for interpretation. Then I'm gonna take these M&Ms.
Oh, we're doing M&Ms, eh?
And those are gonna be our ornaments. It'll do. I think that's good.
Shazam, guys, look at that. Does mine actually look like a Christmas tree?
More than mine.
It does, huh? Checkala, watchala, watchala, Cortez.
Well, there you have our holiday brownies. I think they're quite chic, if I do say so myself.
They're abstract.
They are abstract, yes. I'm pretty sure a first grader could do better than this, but you know, it's all right. We tried. It's the last minute, the get ready and go dessert. So we encourage you to recreate these brownies. Add your own little flair to them. If you decide to do so, tag us in your photos. Please also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat, which will all be right here. We also would like to show you Douglas 2.0, which will also be right here. We gave him a little facelift. And we also want to give a shout out today to our YouTube subscriber who goes by the handle Sita, S-I-T-A. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Please like, comment, share, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We would love to have you here, and we'll see you on Friday. Bye.